Welcome in, everybody. How's it going? My name is Josh. This is the Gaming Joy channel, and we are going to be jumping into some actual playing farm sim for once. We've been having a lot of fun on the weekends lately, playing other stuff other than farm sim. But now's a chance for us to jump back into farm sim and have some fun. And for some reason, my avatar is in the wrong place. So that's weird. That's weird. There we go. It's not centered. There, that's centered. Okay, welcome in. Hi, how's it going? Welcome in. My name's Josh. It's the Game Joy channel. We're playing on Judith Plains tonight. On our, I don't know what this is called, Big Sky, Big Dreams playthrough. And we got some big sky. We basically own every piece of land that we can see. All of it. And we're like all set to go for the next harvest, which is going to be corn. But for some stupid reason, it's not ready yet. I don't understand what's going on. It's like the game doesn't like me. It doesn't want me to like continue. So it's just not ready yet. So I'm just filling the time and filling my bunkers, filling my little personally owned BGA. We do have one crop that's ready to harvest, which is this hemp right here. So the first thing we're going to get to do with our new harvester, which we bought in between streams. I don't even know if you guys have seen the new harvester. I think you've seen me talk about it, but the first thing we have to buy with the new harvester is, or harvest with the new harvester is hemp. So that's going to be cool. I don't even remember what kind of header we need for the hemp, but I think it's a regular grain header, but I'm not sure. Who knows, right? In the meantime, I figured I'd, put some fluid in the BGA, I guess. We'll park this guy right here for now. And jump over to this truck, enter vehicle, which is almost full of digestate. We're gonna fill it up and then go sell that digestate, because then we have to buy one more piece of land. I swear, I'm almost done buying land. I actually almost own almost half the map, or like I own the equivalent of a standard size map at this point. So my own the map challenge is almost done or something. Not that I'm actually doing that, but either way. Well, welcome in, everybody. I don't know if anyone's actually watching. The script, the numbers are not up to date, but that's okay. We're just getting work done. I don't know if you guys remember this. Over on the Can You Survive 25 series, I updated the forestry trailer to have these awesome dual BKT tires on the rear, which makes these trailers a little bit wider than they need to be. But the benefit of that is that they don't tip over. I wonder if this is still broken. Yeah, it's still broken. Why does it stop? Do you guys notice that? Like, why does it, like, stop pouring? If I keep moving, it doesn't stop selling. But if I stop moving, it stops selling. It's so weird. I don't understand it at all. I don't understand what's going on there. That's just weird. Weird. We have another trailer to use right there. To be able to sell, or we're gonna have to, so once we harvest our corn, we're gonna have to cook the corn. We're gonna have to make dry corn with the drying thing on the farm, which we already have. We've just never used it. But It needs propane, and so we're going to need to figure out how to buy propane. I don't actually know how to buy propane, so that's something we're going to have to figure out. News to me, no idea. Well, welcome in everybody, whoever's here. Please let me know in chat. I'd love to hear from you, all y'all. But today we're just having some fun on Judith Plains. I am feeling towards the end of my life cycle here on Judith Plains, just because, you know, we own most of this area of the map. There's not much else to do. We got a couple more harvests to do, but I can't wait to move on to something else, move on to something different. I'm very much looking forward to that. Is this grass ready to harvest yet? No. So this grass right here is not ready. I can't tell if this grass here is ready. I don't understand why on this, like it's rendering so low quality. Like the grass has much higher quality. Like all of this stuff is super low quality. Why is this super low quality? Is it because I'm on a 4X map? Did I mess up a shader or something? But like this is like the low res version of this grass. Like I know the game released new versions and I haven't reset my shaders. But is that why it's rendering all of the crops super low res? If so, that's kind of lame. Almost didn't make that corner. Dang. Hey Artemis, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming along. We are having some interesting times here on Big Sky, Big Dreams on Judith Plains. Making some money. I'm at a point where just running the BGA overnight, I'm making like, I think I made 400k overnight. 300k, 350k, something like that. Just from sleeping. Money's just rolling in. Getting some nice bonuses from my environmental score. Look at that. 17k environmental bonus. That's pretty good. Yeah, I really don't know why the grass is rendering so low quality. Because I know it looks a lot better than that. But it's just rendering very low quality for some reason. I don't get it. Alright, anyway, so we have enough money right now. We have enough money to buy the last piece of property that we wanted to buy. So while we're filling that up, we're going to buy one more piece of property. The one we've been waiting on. Which is this one right here. Which is this all this like outside land in between blah 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 stuff. But I like mowing all this outside land in between blah 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 stuff, so I figure why not buy it, right? And then we can do whatever we want with it and nothing's going to stop us from merging fields. The big reason is because the in-between fields between 12, 18, 25, 4, 1, 8, 5, all of these are all part of that land. And since I want to merge, I want to make this into like one like U-shaped field. I think that would be pretty cool. Biggest field I've ever made. And it'll go around the forest. I think that would be pretty fun. Since all of those, I'm going to merge them. I need to buy the in-between land first. So we're going to buy that. It's $1.1 million. Which, you know, we made in a day. So now we own that. And if it's funny, if you look here, if we go into the farmland, this is the farmland that I own. All of this green. And the only parts I don't own within this giant area, and I'm basically getting all the way up to the highway or to the train line. Everything on this side of the train line I'm going to own. Is this forest? I don't own this yet, but that's another $1.1 million. I don't own this field. I'm not sure why, whatever. And then these two fields, which I'd like to merge with these. And then this forest. But, you know, yeah, we'll get there at some point. I mean, we're making money hand over fist with our BGA and selling Digestate and stuff, so there's that. All of this grass is ready to mow, I think. So if we wanted to mow some in-between grass kind of stuff and just collect grass for the sake of collecting grass, we could. I don't know if we need to. Maybe I'll do that off stream. But because we've mowed all that grass before, that's the same thing all over again. So let's do that. So we're selling this Digestate, and then, because I think we need actually to buy a header. I actually think we sold our header, and we need to buy a header. So that's going to be the next thing we do, is buy a header. And I'll explain why in just a second. Alright, that's enough Digestate for now. We can leave this right here, just because I'm lazy. And we're going to back up and get this one. And this is our normal trailer, which we're going to get propane with eventually. But this one does propane and milk and anhydrous and all the other fun stuff. But this map has propane. We still have to do the propane. So we haven't figured out how to do the propane yet. So we'll do that next. But I'm just moving it out of our custom store spawn zone, I guess. Okay. Love this truck. And then we're going to go over here for the hemp. So I'm going to bring this over to the hemp, get it ready for our hemp harvest. And then I think we have to buy a header. Got to set myself up. I've taken out that street sign so many times now. Every time I drive by it, I take it out. Which is fantastic if you ask me. All right, here is the hemp crop that we're going to harvest today. And here's our case. So we're going to do the, I don't know if this is going to work yet. I think it will. But I mean, this, the size of this header. Whoops. This is a, I forget, 23 meter header. It's gigantic. I mean, we have a big field. We have multiple very big cornfields to do, so I think this is warranted. Does the let's actually check. Let's unfold the actual harvester. And the question is the pipe long enough? Because I don't know if the pipe anticipated a header this big. Let's look. Oh yeah, pipe's totally long enough. Sweet. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with all the really low quality graphics. Like, look at the case logo on the top of this tractor. Like, why is it just rendering the absolute lowest quality graphics for everything? Like, the blades of grass are low quality. Like, the tractor looks overall good, but it's super low quality. It's actually really irritating me. Like, is there a setting that I can do for like, can I reload? Like, can I destroy my shaders and rebuild them somewhere? I don't actually know. Anyways, so we have this giant corn header, which is going to be used next. But whoops. We're going to drop that header right now because we don't need it. Because I think, if I remember correctly, we go down to harvesting. Where's the harvesters? Loaders. I still don't like the new order of things. Still irritates me. Flex Draper, 19.2 meters. This one is $173,000. So we definitely needed money to buy that. And hemp right here. I think that's hemp. Pretty sure that's hemp. So we need to buy it. Let's make sure we didn't already buy it because I'm a mess with that stuff. Sometimes I buy stuff and forget that I have it. What was it? Macdon 261 Flex Draper. I already own this. Where is it? It's at the store. Oh. Well, let's go get it. Boop. Oh my gosh. Look at that teleporting skills. I'm almost even lined up to pick it up. That's some mad teleporting skills right there. Booyah. It's going okay, Deep South. I'm actually a little frustrated right now. Like, I'm borderline wanting to restart my game. Because, like, it looks okay from this point of view. But if I get out, look how low quality the grass is. I mean, the grass is super important to me. Why is it rendering in so low quality? It looks like poop. Like, does anyone know why that's happening? I mean, I guess I could, you know, restart the game. I guess. Let's try deleting my shader cache and restarting the game. Dust Bunny, do you know what's going on with my game? Why it looks like crap? It just, everything looks like poop. I mean, look at this grass. Isn't that like the worst grass you've ever seen? Like, it's super low quality. And then, like, if we go into the harvester, like, look at the logos on the side of the harvester. They're like super ultra low res. Like, you can't even read that this says AF11. It does. It looks like Minecraft grass. I'm getting frustrated. I'm gonna restart the game. So we're gonna go to save. See, I just loaded the game too. That's what sucks. We're gonna quit. And then we're gonna go into here. We're gonna go into Farming Simulator. Jim cache? Who's Jim? Why does he have a cache folder in my... Go in here. We're gonna take our shader cache. Now I'm just gonna delete my shader cache. Goodbye. Try again. Shader cache is gone. I'm hoping that's all it was. I'm gonna delete the shader cache, and then I'll do what Gold Gaming does and fly around the map because pretending I'm Superman, and see if that helps. I don't know if it will. Well, whatever. But either way, thanks for coming in, Deep South, Dust Bunny, Deep South, and Artemis. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming along. Let's see what happens. I hope that I get actual proper quality rendering. And I hope it's not the fact that I'm running a 4x map. Because if it's just the fact that I'm running a 4x map, that's super lame. Like, I should even, like, I have ultra settings for everything. Like, it should just render. I shouldn't have to fight with the game. But that said, I haven't removed my shader cache since, like, I don't know, maybe 1.13, 6 months at least. So I'm not being very proactive with it, so it could be my fault. How's everyone doing tonight? How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing good. Any farm sim news that I've been missing? Farm Sim actually opened up in the Farm Sim Discord. This is an interesting bit of note if you guys didn't know. The Farm Sim Discord opened up a new modding feedback channel. And when they did, which is weird to me, but what else? The Artemis is making content. That's awesome. They opened up a modding feedback channel. Okay. And so this makes me laugh. So they opened up a feedback channel. Oh, look, the grass looks normal now. See, that's high quality grass. That's how grass is supposed to look. I fixed it. I'm just going to walk over to where my tractor was. See, now I can tell that this needs to be mowed. I couldn't tell before. All right, let's get the harvester going on this hemp field and go from there. Anyway, so they opened up a modding feedback channel, basically looking for feedback from modders about what it's like to be a modder and what problems there are with the system and yada yada baba baba bada yada yada whatever. Like, they just, you know. Does this work? Sweet, this works. I'm just gonna hire a regular everyday worker. Right? When there's so much wrong, exactly. There's so much wrong, but they opened up for feedback. And so the part that makes me laugh, right? And I'm gonna go get a mower to do something else. The part that makes me laugh is they opened up a modding feedback channel. Where's the Batwing? I thought I had a tractor dedicated to the Batwing. I guess I don't. I guess we're using this one. Anyway, so they opened up a modding feedback channel in their Discord, and then they turned comments off. It's like, it's funny with them. It's like you get like one little glimpse of hope, and then they do something really dumb. It's like, really? You want feedback, but you don't actually want people to give you feedback? It's like, and then they like basically only the moderators and admins can respond. They're the only ones who are allowed to respond, which is super weird. And sorry, this just makes me laugh. Only the moderators and admins are allowed to respond, and every once in a while they respond. And the only thing that each individual modder is allowed to do is to like +1 vote, or like use emojis to vote whether they like that idea or not. No one can respond. No one can cheer each other on. No one can provide feedback on if the idea is silly or not. None of that. No. Who cares? I don't want feedback. I just want feedback. It's so dumb. And so And it's funny because people are like, you get like some of the responses are actually from modders, and you can tell people are like, oh well, this certain type of functionality would be really useful in GE to make building maps easier, or like I put in one about I think consistency in documentation, the kind of stuff that I talk about all the time, right? I put 2 or 3 comments out. Let me see, what are the ones that I put in? I'll open it up in another window. See what did I put in? I don't even remember because it's been a couple days. Nope, there. Come on, here. I started 3 threads. One was feature request to set reasonable limits that support the modding community. That was one of mine. The second one was allow modders to contact other modders through ModHub, like to be able to ask questions, or hey, I found a bug in your thing, here's how to fix it. And then another one was related to ModHub website search, right? So it finally gave me a way to take some of the stuff that I talk about with you guys here on my live streams, and actually tell giants about that stuff. This is gonna take forever to drive there. I'm just gonna teleport. I don't have time for that. So we're gonna start right over here. Look at the size of this field. So yeah, so they opened up this feedback thing, and I'm gonna mow a little bit and start to mow this grass because I can't hold myself back from not mowing this grass. So they opened up this feedback thing, and people are voting, and it was very active for like the first 2 or 3 days, and then it petered off, and mainly because Giants hasn't stated or let anyone know what they're gonna do with any of that feedback. Like, they just basically said, hey, give us feedback, but they didn't say that they were actually gonna act on that feedback. And so some of the responses that people have put in was like, you know, give us clear rules and definitions of how you're actually going to do anything about this feedback that we're giving you. And they haven't responded. They're just like, oh, we're just going to listen to people, but we're not going to actually do anything at all with anything that they tell us, which is typically giants being giants. So whatevs. I'm not gonna hold them to it or anything like that, but I'm also not gonna expect the world. That's for sure. But yeah, so I submitted some feedback, and who knows if anything will ever happen to it, but at least the modding community has a way of publicly telling giants what they think. And, you know, we've had, actually, I want to see where my land ends. Where's my land end? Let's see. Do I have access to... Oh, let's do it through this menu. So I'm not on land that I own right now. Okay. It ends the road. Okay. So hopefully it ends at the road and I can just follow the road. So I can't cross the road. That's fine. I don't have access to this land. Okay, that's kind of arbitrary. Whatever. I'm going to keep going until I find where those access points are. Am I kind of on the line here? I hate when maps do this. Okay, this is the end of my land. I guess I can't go all the way to the road. That's part of the course for this map. So we don't know what they're going to do with the feedback. They might be listening. They might be like, hey, let's get everyone to tell us what we're doing wrong, and then we can, you know, not do anything with that feedback until the next version of the game. I think that's more than likely what they're doing. But it's a nice thought, I guess. And I'm not going to categorize it as anything other than a nice thought until they actually tell us what they're going to do with that feedback. Because as far as I'm concerned, unless you're actually giving measured results for acting on feedback, then what's the point of giving feedback if the other side isn't listening? But you know, I can dream, I can hope. You know me, I'm not always a super complete negative Nancy. I do want things to be better. I do want the game to get better. I do want the modding experience to be better. I just don't know if Giants has it in them to do those things, but I can hope and pray and really, really hope, I guess. I'm just going to keep saying the word hope, and then eventually it'll be true, right? But it's interesting. It's interesting to see. It's a lot of people are putting in really good suggestions. And then there's also, as always, because they did it on their primary support Discord, there's been a bunch of people, like somebody posted like we should have less trucks in the game because there's too many trucks and we need more farming equipment. It's like, okay, that's not really modding feedback. That's not anything about making the modding experience better. You're just bummed out that there's a lot of trucks in the game? Like, okay, thank you, come again. Right? Like, it's just like, okay, that doesn't make sense at all, but sure. There's too many trucks in the game. Oh, look, the grass already looks like crap again. Yay. Now, do I own all this? I should own all this. Yeah, I own everything, so I can just mow anything I want right now. I love that. I can just mow whatever I want. Boopity boop. I'm going to mow this parking lot. And I'm going to mow around this parking lot. I'm like putting the border of the area in which I'm going to mow. I'm defining that border right now. I'm going to mow around these trees because these trees are just decorative. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. I own all this land, so I'm going to mow the hell out of it. Oh, how's our harvester doing? It's at 7%. And so we did get a kind of a slightly unrealistic harvester. Because I said so. Well, we have really big fields to do. I wasn't going to sit there unloading it every 20,000 liters or whatever the default configuration for that AF11 is. So if it's at 15,000 liters, 7%, that's good enough. I don't like the fact that it's at 0 kilometers per hour and not moving. So let's jump in real quick and make sure he's not stuck, because I think he's probably stuck. Or he's waiting for this truck to get out of the way. Yep, he's waiting for this truck to get out of the way. Can't leave those workers to do anything. Can't trust them as far as you can throw them. Speaking of stuff to buy, we also, last time, we sold our planter. And so we need to buy a new planter because we need to plant this crop. Yoinkity yoink. This one. Booyah. Now this thing right now is only set to do these crops. But is there a version that's set to do seeding it really big? Seed Hawk. What? Well, this is like the toad one we just had. But that thing's freaking huge. Look at that. That's from the Plains and Prairies pack. Wait, what? There's a cedar in the Plains and Prairies pack? I didn't know that. Wonder if it's any good. Let's look. It has a big, huge wagon. So total, all told. Jeez. Shit, this thing's fucking huge. 35,000 liters. That's behemoth. And then this does not include corn. We also have this one, which is a cedar, which is a Chris and Riley has a Klein. Yeah, I know they do. I don't even know if I have that on here. I might. I don't think I have Colossus, but I just like looking for different stuff. Look at this thing. This thing's freaking huge too. 18 meters. I like the fact that it has tracks. I mean, this is like end game stuff. So, and we're going to be seeding and planting very, very big fields. We're going to start off with this smaller field. But, I mean, why not use the big bet, the big bud, bend, blah, blah, blah. We sold the other one because it was like 6 meters or 9 meters or something. And I'm not going to seed a field that's this big with 9 meters. Like, seeding this one took forever and a day. But we'll get that next, but we have to make some money first. So, anyways, I was mowing at some point because I like the mowing more than this. Enter vehicle. We could use the Digestate, or we could just update the Case Early Riser planter cedar planter, and turn it into a planter cedar with one line of code changed. We could do that. That would be equally fun. And then we wouldn't have to buy those big Digestate things, but I mean, that Digestate thing is freaking huge. I'm not even sure if I'm saying the name Digestate right. DJ, you put all of these trees a little too far down into the ground. They're very hard to drive around. Just saying. And I'm gonna drive up the hill. I don't even know if this mower can go straight up the hill. You'd like to see how to code that? Why am I going around like this? I want to see how many millions of liters of grass I can get from just this open area. That's my goal here. Okay, we can do that. We can do that on stream. It only takes 5 minutes. We can do a little modding aside. Show y'all how to do that. We'll do that when we get to the seeding part. Actually, we should probably do the seeding part now so we can run the worker. I mean, why not? Why have all this grass if you don't mean it to be mowed? There's like little hidden areas that look super fun over here. There we go. We could go all the way, but I think I'm gonna cap it here. Maybe we'll do that other part later. We almost can't even make it up this hill. But there ain't nothing this Batwing can't do, so. Boop. Boop. Oh good, it's not affecting the corn. This like shows off one of the features of the Batwing, that it can like wrap around those really those tight hills. I'll get the in-between stuff later. Because I'm driving a two-wheel drive tractor, it's a little bit tough to keep a straight line. I feel like I'm wavering all over the place. Our hemp is at 13% full. 26,000 liters. So we're getting a good amount of hemp. I think last time we just sold it straight off. But I don't remember. All right, well, that was almost one headland of this area. And it's just meadow, but it's going to produce grass. I mean, it's got good grass. Good amount is being produced. It's like the 20-minute headland. All right, so you guys are referring, so I think everyone's referring to Dust Bunny. I'll answer that question. So Chris and Riley made a Kinsey multi-fruit planter, right? And it's part of their Colossus pack, which is pretty cool. Turn this off for a second. It's part of their Colossus pack, and let me see if I have the Colossus pack installed. I don't remember. I don't think I do. Not on this playthrough. C for Colossus, or maybe L for Lizard Colossus. Lizard Mega, Lizard Next. Okay, anyways. Here we go. Let's look under the hood. All right, quick save. We'll come back to the hemp in a second. Saving a 4x map, so it takes a while. Okay. Boop. Bye-bye. All right, so we're gonna go into the folder, my folder for this map. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna go into the case. What's it called? Help me remember. It's the case early riser. I don't remember which one it is called. Speed tiller. Date modified. I downloaded it recently. Is this it? I don't know what that is. Oh, that's some special edition. I'm trying to find the file. Black editions, the 2160 series, maybe? Case early riser 2160. We found it. Okay, this is how to do it, okay? First of all, extract all. Second of all, extract it into your mod folder. I'm going to change the name of it because it didn't have the word case in it. And I'm going to add my thing at the end. All right, so I'm extracting it to a different folder than it was in before. Okay, extractamundo. Boop. Now we're going to come back up into this folder. We're going to take this mod, X, Control X, sort by name, go into the folder we just created, and paste. So I'm removing the zip file from my mod folder and putting it into this folder, which means that the game, when it loads, will only see this folder. It's probably going to give me a warning because I removed a mod that it already had, but whatever, we can fix that. Next step, super easy. Again, we're doing this like real time, right? I'm going to come in the mod desk. I do this every time. Come in here. Put my name in here. I'll put a dash. 01. And I'll put this. I'm gonna change the name to that. That's all I'm changing in the mod desk. I'm adding my name just so I know that it's different. So I'm not gonna accidentally give this out to someone else because that would be mean, because I like custom modding and I don't want to get them to get mad at me. Anyways, we come into this fertilizing sewing machine. This is the mod itself. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and change the speed limit because I like to go fast. So I'm going to change this to 18. Not going too fast, just a little bit faster. Don't give me that. And then I'm gonna go K2. And what I did was basically collapse all of these nodes. I don't need to see them all. I just want them to be collapsed because I don't like them when they're expanded. I like them when they're collapsed. I'm going to be a little bit particular, and I'm gonna select these zones and I'm gonna indent them properly like they should have been in the first place. Come on. I'm gonna go into sewing machine. This is where it says sewing machine. So sewing machine is the part of what it's doing. It's sowing. So planters and seeders are both sowing machines. They are they're a machine for sowing seeds. Pretty simple. And right here was a seed fruit type categories. I want to seed with planter. So planter is all the planter stuff. Seeder is all of the sewing machine. And then I can also add planter small. And you're thinking, well, how'd you know those things, Josh? Well, that's pretty easy. If we open up a new window, file, new window, and we go to our data directory, open, and we do maps, fruit types. We open, no, that's not the right one. I keep opening the wrong one. That's something else. You go to map fruit types and see these things where it says grain header, maize cutter, direct cutter, sewing machine. Oh, sewing machine is all of these crops. Planter is what it did, is all of those crops. Planter small is carrots, parsnip, beetroots, and spinach. So if I go back over to here, I want it to do planter space planter small, right? And I want this thing to do everything. So I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna do this, sewing machine, and then I'm also gonna do, sugarcane planter, which is right here. There isn't one that includes, potatoes into a category, which is kind of a bummer. So the only thing this won't do is potatoes. I'm okay with that. If you wanted to do it with potatoes, all you'd have to do is create a custom fruit type category like this. Wrong one, wrong window. And see this one right here? See how it says fruit type category, pickup silage. That's a custom fruit type category. If I added that to my map, then it would work. It would only work if I added it to the map. I'm not going to do that right now. That's too much work just to add potatoes, whatever. But that's how you would do it. Anyways, we go back to the mod. And so now it's planting planter small, sewing machine, and sugarcane planter. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to go over to the fill units and I'm going to look at how much it has a capacity for. And this appears to have a capacity for either for 3,500 liters of seeds and either with or without fertilizer tanks. And so I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit copy, paste, and I am going to do a second one, and I'm going to do 10,000. I'm going to change this to say params bulk 10x and name equals s. All right, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to copy this, paste it right here, copy, paste, get rid of that name, boop, boop, boop. And so now I'm basically creating an alternate configuration that has way more capacity. I do this for everything. I just do it because I feel like it. So I'm gonna add a 0 here. I'm gonna 0 there. I'm gonna add a 0 there. Oops, too many zeros. And I'm gonna add a 0 here. So now it has 35k liters instead of 3,500 liters. No big deal. That's it. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna close this stuff down and I'm gonna go back to the game. I didn't really do much. I didn't touch the model. I didn't add. I could add colors if you want. Actually, does it have colors? Let's look while we're loading real quick. It doesn't even have any color configuration, which would take too much time. All we're doing is adding the ability to plant seeds and planter stuff. So that's how you do it. All right. And thank you for adding that link, Dust Bunny. Now we're waiting for the game to load. Come on, game. There we go. Big Sky, Big Dreams. This game save uses download content which is not installed. Cancel because I don't care. I know I removed the case to early riser series. Cancel. I'm gonna go in here, and cancel, continue. I'm gonna continue bypass it because I have created .gmg01. I created a copy of it. That's my edited version. And now I'm gonna hit start. Now it's only gonna ask me that stuff the first time. Other than that, I'm now working on I'm forever more playing on my edited copy of that. And now when we go into the game, now that we're going into the game, now when we do it, we're gonna be working on our other thing. Now, the thing with the Deep South, now what I did with the capacity is, if you notice, I didn't just change the capacity. I added additional options to the capacity so I could still use the planter legit if I wanted to, or I could use it less than legit and add in extra capacity. But I added them as options that I have to pay for. So I like doing it that way instead of just saying, oh, everything I use has 1 million liters. I started to do that when I first started playing Farm Sim like 3-4 years ago. But I kind of got into this mode where if I'm going to be upgrading capacity, or if I'm going to be using something that gets to the unrealistic realm, I should have to pay for it. I shouldn't just get that for free. I shouldn't just always play with completely, unrealistic stuff. I sometimes want to play legit, but not always. So let's go in here and let's check and see if my edits were successful. So we're gonna come in here. Scroll, find this thing. Here's the capacity. And now you can see, look at the list of crops. Look at this insane list of crops. It's so many crops it has to scroll. But basically, you have all of the planter crops right here. Doopy-doopy-doopy-doo. And then you have all of the seeding crops. Doopy-doopy-doo. And you have sugarcane. And you also have carrots, red beets, spinach, yada yada. So you can do everything, almost everything except for potatoes, with this planter. And now this behemoth planter, which is 18 meters, I can just do everything with this thing, and we don't even have to mess around with the Vader stage stuff. Wheel setup, lizard destination farm. I don't know what that means. Oh, I can get freaking tracks with this one too. Sweet. Bulk fill scales. I don't know what that means. What is that doing? It's not doing anything. Anyways, hoppers and or tanks. Bulk fill with liquid fertilizer tanks. Bulk fill 10x. Bulk fill liquid fertilizer tanks 10x. So now I have a 10x version, 50,000 liters total, which is between the seeds and the liquid fertilizer. So this will do liquid fertilizer and seeds all at once. And I actually had to pay for it. I paid an extra 20 grand for it. So we're gonna go ahead and buy that. Just barely enough money. Boopity boop. And then boop boop boop. Look at this monstrosity. It's so big that everything else is in the way. It's something on the tank right hand side. All right. So we're going to come over here. We're going to back in this thing. Nope. Nope. Connect. Give me the connection. There you go. Thank you. Connect. I don't know if this tractor is going to be able to pull this. I hope it does. I've never used this planter either before. I literally just downloaded it for you guys. Because I was like, hey, this looks like a cool idea. And I'm tired of seeding at 9 meters. So we're going to do that. So let's open the tanks. Ooh. There's like a timer for the tanks opening. That's kind of cool. Nice. Are you getting stuck on a chicken or something? Is this thing getting stuck on chickens? It was getting stuck on something. I think it's getting stuck on chickens. That's kind of messed up, honestly. What is going on here? Some modders don't understand that they didn't do collisions right, and so you end up getting mods that will get stuck on chickens or sheep or something, even though the base game stuff doesn't. All right, here we're gonna fill with liquid fertilizer first. Sweet. And then we're gonna do it again. The seeds. We're going to fill up with seeds, and we're going to switch from corn to something else. No, rye. And I have to super strength my way out of my yard because the kitchen, literally, the chickens are getting caught on this planter. Stupid chickens. Did I say kitchens? I think I did. Really? I'm not having the best of days with this planter. All right. Let's unfold and see what happens. Watch this thing unfold. I bet it has the best unfolding animation ever. I love watching the custom modding unfolding animations. They take like a week, but the custom modding unfolding animations are some of the best in the game. So I'm going to sit here and watch. It's still going, by the way. You see the little feet folding down? Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Let's close the lids. So pretty. Now the big question remaining here is whether this is a direct seeder or not. I think my ground is all prepped. It just has weeds. So we're planting rye, which is what we want. Turn it on, lower it down, and we're good. Cool. Hire a worker. And I'll let the worker figure out the rest. Have fun. And if we have to, we'll bring in the big guns. We'll bring the big bun in if the case can't handle it. Let's check out the harvester, see what the harvester's doing. The harvester, because I set it up to do a normal worker course, it's actually almost done. Not almost done, but it's actually almost done. And so this harvest is actually pretty close to being done. That's pretty cool. Enter vehicle. Hey, Raylocks. Welcome in. Thanks for coming by. I haven't seen you in a little while. I hope you're doing okay. Oh no, you had to bury another hen? I'm assuming you mean like a chicken? That's sad. We all love our animals. It's always sad when you have to bury one. Speed up the time a little bit. Okay, this is going to be almost done. And this seeder is actually doing its job now. So we'll see how well he does seeding that field. I think the next time we plant, I think we may just like do this zone here, right, as barley. Or I'm gonna do this as one huge cornfield. And I'll do this as... I'll do this one, and this one as rye. I'll probably combine these two. And then I'll do these ones as wheat. And then corn. So have bigger fields. Instead of smaller one-off fields. That sounds fun. I mean, this thing with the big header, this thing works so much better than the Nexat did. No offense to the Nexat, but offense meant. That thing's a piece of crap. Its steering and, like, movement was all cattywampus. It didn't work right. It just was not the best piece of equipment. The wide span vehicle system from 22 was way better. In all honesty, way better. Giants did their best to steal that and use it for their own, but they didn't do a very good job. Damn it. Oh, and one thing I wanted to check. What's the status of these fields? Visit. This field's nothing. Does this field have something in it? This one's nothing. These are ready to plant. This one, visit. This one is not ready to harvest yet. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to do all of the sunflowers and corn all in one episode. Oh my gosh, that's gonna take a long time. So next week we get to do a massive harvest with every kind of crop imaginable. But we don't need this header for a little while, right? I don't know where to put it. I mean, I own all of this land. So I'm just going to put the header right here for now. Whoop, whoop. Somebody help remind me that it's here. Because I'll probably forget. And then we'll drive our harvester over to the cornfield that we're going to do next time. We're going to have so much to do next time. It's not even funny. We have to do the clover field over there. And the prairie grass field over there. And like 4 or 5 cornfields. And a sunflower field. Obviously, we won't get those all done in the stream. And we'll probably focus on the corn in the stream because that's the one we really need. The rest of them are just kind of ancillary. Okay. Turn that off. We're going to do one more headland here, and then we're going to get a new mower. Actually, I want to look at the new mower. I haven't played with this mower yet, but I'm looking at the size of this field, and if I try to do this with this little teeny tiny mower, I think I'm going to go crazy. So we're only do one more headland with a batwing, and then we need the ultra batwing, which is this one. Unrealistic working speed, 40 kilometers an hour or 15 kilometers an hour. I don't really care because I'm just going to use real speed limit anyways, but we're going to use this. And thank you very much to, what's his name? Mac Trucker. Thank you to Mac Trucker for just making this thing out of the box awesome. And black. Good job. Chassis color, favorites, hella black. That's how we roll. But this thing is a 27 meter mower. And we don't have enough money to buy it. What the hell? We're going to lease it because I'm not even sure if I like it. So we don't have the money, but we can get the money, but we're going to lease it for now. And what does it need? 350 horsepower. Okay. That kind of limits ourselves to which stuff we can use. We could use the Big Bud for pulling that thing. I actually think that's probably one of the, maybe this one. Like, we have to look at our tractors real quick. Which ones of our tractors actually have that many horsepower? Right? We have, that's a weight. This one only has 145 horsepower. The Pro has 261. That one might work. This one has 550, but that one's being used. Can't use the AF11. International, this one has 460. We actually use the International. I don't use that for very much. We haven't used that for field work in a long time. But I will definitely try to use that one. That one's pretty cool. That one needs to be repaired. All right, let's do one more headland, and then we'll bring the big mower over. The reason is because once we're doing like the middle areas, I don't want to be precise with like navigating around stuff. I want to handle the navigating around stuff with this mower because it's way more precise. That's one of the reasons I love the Batwing. I love this kind of form factor for mowing because you can get in and around things and you can navigate areas. But when you're using a really, really big mower like the one we're going to use for the middle areas, you end up having problems if you try to navigate with tight corners and stuff like that. You end up having to have wide sweeping corners just for it to work right. But that's okay. We'll get by. So I'm basically giving myself like a 14 meter headland here because this thing's 7 meters wide. Hey, CS Benji, welcome in. Thanks for being here. We're mourning the loss of Raymond Locke's his hen. He lost another hen recently. We're very sad for his loss. His hens lasted 3 years. Is that what you said, Ray? 3 years? I could never have, I don't have the patience to keep hens. Nor do I live in an area where that's really possible. We're going to do this. We're going to drive generally in a straight line to where we need to go. And just because we don't have access to that land, doesn't necessarily matter. It doesn't matter. We're just going to mow as much as we can. 4 to 5 years old. That's crazy. And are they still, those hens still laying eggs after 4 to 5 years? Or is there like, I actually don't know. It's a really basic question. Are there like, do they have like a peak production realm or time period of their life when they produce eggs daily or whatever? I'm actually curious. Farming Simulator Club 25. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. We got 17 viewers all of a sudden. It looks like we may have had a raid come in. Thank you very much for everyone being here. Thanks for joining in. Let me know if you're here in the chat. We're having some fun with Judith Plains. And we're, one of the things I like, I've always liked about DJ Modding's maps is he doesn't try to cover every single square meter of map with fields. He puts fields where they would be logically in real life. And then he leaves like these big open grassy areas that you can, if you want to do the work to harvest them, you can make a killing. But if you don't, then you're not really missing out on the map. And so we just went and bought like, where's it on the map? We went and bought this farmland, which is like all of these outside areas and stuff like that, like craziness, like all of this extra stuff. We got all kinds of free land from that one purchase. And so, but I noticed when I was looking at the map that a lot of that free land is meadow, and you guys know me enough. And if you don't, I'm a big fan of mowing. Mowing is my favorite thing, which is why I released this mower, or why I edited Giants's mulcher. This is actually the original, what originally was a mulcher, not a mower. Why I edited Giants's mulcher to be a mower, because when I saw people using this in like the playtest demos, I don't know if you guys remember that, when like a couple people got flown to Giants to see the early games, the early game access, and they got to playtest the games, and one of the tools that they got to playtest was the Bednar MM7000 mulcher. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, yes. Giants added a Batwing style mower in the base game, and I was like, I'm totally turning that thing into a mower. And so that's what I did. It's one of the first things I worked on in Farm Sim 25 was writing all of the code needed to make this into your Swiss Army knife of a mower. It literally does everything. It's what, as it says in the description, it's the mower Bruce Wayne would have. Because it does everything. It does mowing, it does windrowing, it does brush hogging, stump cutting, it still mulches. And if the number of downloads or anything to speak of, a lot of people really like this mower too. So I'm happy other people like it too. I think this feature right here is probably one of the most used features that I see people using, which is basically turning it into a windrower, kind of like the Krone Big M, where it has a work mode that windrows. And so I just added that to this one because I like windrows. And I don't like having to use a separate machine for windrowing. And if I'm correct, I think this mower that we just bought, or leased, I should say, from Mac Trucker also has a windrowing option, which is pretty easy to do without too much XML wizardry. So we'll have to check that out in a minute. Boopity boop. 17 awesome people watching. Thanks for coming along. And then next we get to try out the biggest mower I've ever used. 24, 27 meters I forget the number. 27 meters, I think. And it's also like a roller too. I believe it's a roller and a mulcher and something else. A weeder maybe? I think Max Trucker outdid himself with that one. Kind of like I did with the Batwing, but with all different kinds of work modes that it can do. Or work modes or configurations in the store or something. I don't remember. All right. This tractor's baller. Look at this, straight up the hill. It's a steep hill. So, whoa. This is the part that I wasn't sure about. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to stick to the side of this hill. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. It's too steep. I mean, it's kind of to be expected, right? It is like a 50-degree angle. All right, let's finish up our headlands. Jeez, can't believe I'm calling these headlands. Then we're gonna get that big mower over here and see what that thing's all about. I'm excited. I love new equipment. We got 2 new equipment tonight. 2 pieces of new equipment tonight. Let's check the map real quick. Oh look, the Giants worker is actually effectively seeding our rye, and then we'll have to seed the rye in here too. We'll put rye in there and put rye. We'll have to merge these fields. We'll put rye over here, and then we'll do all of these as wheat. We'll do all of this as corn. It'll be fantastic. Back with the low res grass again. I just think the game engine can't keep up with the 4X maps. It just can't keep up and keep things high res, so it reverts to low res for some reason, which is stupid because I have a pretty good system, and I don't see why it's giving me low resolution graphics. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense to me. Kind of bothers me. Great day for planting potatoes and onions in raised beds. Oh, cool. Very cool. Doing some traditional farming. Nice. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to turn this off. And then we're going to jump into one of our other tractors. Come into this one right here. Enter vehicle. That new planter is making short work of this field. That's pretty epic. We're gonna need to pick up that grass also, which is usually what I use this tractor for, so this contraption can't go far. And this trailer is in the wrong place. I'm just gonna push it out of the way. Oh my gosh, look how big this thing is. This thing's freaking huge. Wait, what did that say? Lizard farmland roller. Why does it say roller? I have it on mowing settings. These are mowers, right? Category mowers, category mulchers, tedder rollers. Oh, it has like 17 different categories. Okay. I think the name is just wrong. It looks like a mower today, so I'm gonna, whoops. I'm not gonna drive it over there. We don't have enough time because we're short on time tonight. I'm gonna teleport right here. All right, let's see if this thing works. Unfold. Oh my gosh, it's so big. This is the biggest mower I think I've ever seen. All right, let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, we got animations on everything. Work mode. Oh, it'll do little windrows. It's not conforming to the ground very well. That's pretty good. That's fair. That's so cool. Okay. 75. 75 is good enough. All right, I'm gonna pick a line and try to make straight lines from now on. But as you can see, it's not kind of, it's sort of wrapping the ground, but it misses at times. See, the bottom one is not like fully connecting with the ground, but the other ones are. It's kind of a bummer. We could probably fix that. Let me look real quick. Go back here. I'm gonna look real quick at the code. What did you do? Multi-roller. What's it called? Lizard multi-roller, I think it's called. Lizard next. Mega mulcher. Oh, that's a good name. Extract all. Extract. Quit. Cut. Look at the code real quick. Sorry. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. It's whatever. It's fine. Mega mulcher roller. We want to look for work areas. No, we want to look for ground reference nodes. See where it says threshold 0.1? That means that if the ground reference node isn't within 0.1, it's not going to work. So if we change this to like 0.5, 0.5 is a little bit extreme, maybe 0.3. I bet these things miss a whole lot less. Save. File. Save. Yeah, Frankenmuth is super flat, so that mower would look really great. And Frankenmuth is flat in real life, so exactly, deep south. So let's just quit real quick. Quit. Paste. Is it gonna let me? Nope. What was it called again? Lizard Mega Mulcher. Cut. Lizard Mega Mulcher Mower. Paste. Save. Nope. Wrong one. I'm gonna open this. Save. Close. Go back in the game. I wonder if that just one little fix will make it work a little bit better for me. For me alone, I'm just fixing it for myself. But the way the ground reference nodes work is there's a node that's like at the bottom of the cutter head. And if the cutter head lifts up off the ground or isn't within contact of the ground within that threshold, it won't work. So if it's, you know, up in the air, it needs a threshold of whatever that threshold number is. So if it's set to like 1 meter, that means it'll work whenever it's within a meter, which is crazy. But like 0.1 is really, really small, and little bumps in the ground can mean 0.1 won't work. So Giants usually sets their numbers to like 0.1 to be between 0.1 and 0.3 for just logic. I don't know if you guys remember, but when the game first, when we first got FS25, the Big M mower, the Big M mower was, I don't know if you guys remember this. Do you remember them bouncing, like bumping, bump, 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 like the wings on the outside were like hitting a pretend bump where there wasn't actually a bump. It was perfectly smooth, but it was just like trying to be real, like extra realism or whatever. But every time it hit a pretend bump, it would move the mower deck high enough that it was outside of the threshold and it would miss stuff. And all of the mowers did that when the game first, when FS25 first came out, and Giants patched it. But the reason it was doing that was because of that ground threshold. So, yeah. I think the Batwing has the ground threshold set at like 0.3. Compiling shaders. You're compiling shaders, but you're still not giving me like actual good quality stuff. Like, see, this still looks like poop. Actually, no, that looks pretty good. It looks like good here, but over here, it's not going to look good. Come over here to, where am I? I think I'm over there. Here. Oh, it looks good for now. That's cool. Okay. Did the game just crash? It crashed. That's not fair. Now I'm sad. The game totally crashed. Configuration work mode. Mower. Vehicle type. Just looking at the stuff here for... Oh, here it is. I think the game just crashed on me. Y'all don't forget. Yeah, thank you very much, Deep South. I hope you get a thumbs up. Especially considering I just got my first game crash in like 6 months. Wonder if there's something wrong with the new patch. Because I just, there's a new patch today, right? I didn't actually see it. I just downloaded it. I didn't care. But maybe we can't use that mower. The only downside with the way Mac Trucker set up that mower is, you notice the wings will go, they will contour to the ground like this, like a U shape like this, but they won't contour like this, like my mower does. And that's just configuration stuff. It's how far it rotates on that hinge. And that can be fixed. Maybe I'll fix it. But yeah, and I don't like the fact that it stays in a straight line, but sometimes it only stays in a straight line when it's raised. When it's lowers, it starts to curve to the ground. So it depends on the vehicle. All right, hopefully we don't crash again. Enter vehicle. Start the engine. Okay, we're gonna lower it down. Oh, and see, now it contours to the ground nicely. Look at that. And then we have to find our sweet spot of our angle. I think it was about there. Why did it turn off? And hopefully we'll see that they're missing less. Before it was missing like every once in a while, and hopefully now it's not going to miss at all. Just with that one little change we made. And it looks like I was successful. Yes. Yes. I fixed it. Oh, I forgot to make tracks. Oops. This saves me a lot of time. That. And we're going to go 22 meters per second, 22 miles an hour, kilometers per hour. I just leave my game in kilometers per hour. I don't like switching back and forth between miles per hour and kilometers per hour. Not because I like kilometers per hour, but because most of the game is in kilometers per hour. That's not what I wanted. And all of the code for the game is in kilometers per hour. And since my brain thinks in the spec for the game, I don't like having to relearn stuff. There we go. That was a super inappropriate way of doing that. I just make up new techniques every other day. We'll use the other mower for filling in the gaps. And then we can do... We'll do this like that. Lower down. Go. Hopefully not miss too much. And here we are, mowing this gigantic field at a very nice rate of speed. Mowing 28 meters wide. Yeah! Now that's a mower. 28 meters. Thank you, Mac Trucker. It's almost perfect. Thank you. That's pretty awesome. I think this is definitely highlighting that we need a a 28-meter headland. Because we're going to have to turn around to make these rows. So let's create ourselves a little bit of a headland for this thing. Let's go around the tree, roughly. But I mean, look at this thing contoured to the ground. Great job, Mack Trucker. Look at that's like some contouring that Giants would never do. Giants would never allow it to contour the ground that well. Giants would like set it up to like only go for 5 degrees. It would never rotate more than 5 degrees below normal. That's how Giants would do it. Mack Trucker's like, hell no. I'm going to make it contour to the actual ground, not to the fake video game ground that Giants wants us to play with. Speaking of, let's check in with our other stuff that's going on. Hey, look, this he's doing headlands. He's almost done. Woo, woo. He's almost done. Then we'll do this one next. So as soon as that, as soon as our new cedar planter multi-level awesomeness is done with that other field, we will have it. I wonder if I can just do this side of this hill with Mack Trucker's mower. Nope, not a chance. It does not want to do that side hill. At least I tried, right? I did try. And it doesn't need to be neat as long as I'm mowing it. As long as I'm turning it into grass that I can pick up. Boop. Now this is the part where I don't think it's actually going to work. I don't think this tractor has enough power to pull this thing straight up the hill while mowing. And I could smooth this hill out or something along those lines. Like I could try to make it less steep. But yeah, okay. It'll do it. See, it'll do it while it's not mowing, while I'm just trailing it. I just don't think it's going to work while the mower is on. So I'll have to do that back section there with the bowing, which is fine. What I can do is do this section. And let's just link into our lines. Go. And this isn't the same like tracks we were on before, so this will line up with everything else we're doing at some point. This thing is awesome. This is like one of those mowers I've always wanted. It's kind of like the Batwing, but not. It's like the Batwing for really, really big fields. Like, it's got a lot of the same functionality as the Batwing. Like, it can mow, it can windrow, it can mulch. The only thing it can't do is like brush hog stuff, and it doesn't do stump grinding. But it is basically the Batwing, but for 4x maps. I can't believe I haven't used this until today. Yeah, that thing's pretty sweet. While we're running, I'm gonna let this thing follow its track because it's on a track, and I'm gonna check the map. Oh, look, the planter's almost done. We're gonna send him over to 46, and he's gonna also seed 46. And then while it's seeding 46, I'm gonna plow extra for 44, so that we can merge with 44. But this tractor has 460 horsepower, and it says you need 350, but I think with 350, you're only going to be able to use 350 horsepower with this mower thing for perfectly flat land, like Frankenmuth flat. Everything else, any kind of hills, any kind of terrain, you're going to need 450 or 550 even. This thing's at 460, and there are points when it's struggling. So you're going to need a really big tractor to pull this at anything other than its low end, basically. Anything other than flat. But, I mean, the amount of time we're saving by using this is pretty insane. Alright, so let's do this. We're going to do it. Boop it boop. And it tows pretty well. Like, it trails behind pretty well when it's unfolded and not working. It trails pretty well. Not perfect, but pretty well. But I just did like over half of this land in a matter of minutes. All right, I'm gonna jump over to this guy because he's done, and get him on 46. And do I need to wait for this 7,000 this thing to actually fold up? If I wait for the whole folding animation, we're going to be here all night. Because don't get me wrong, this has got to be one of the most beautiful folding animations I've seen. But right now, there's some collision problems with this equipment where the front feet and arms are not, they're underneath the ground. So there's some collision problems with it, where those things should be colliding with the ground, but they're not. There you go. Now it resets. So, it could be better. It's not bad. Could be better. And we didn't use very much liquid fertilizer or for rye. So, we have plenty to go to our next field. Welcome in, everybody. 26 awesome people. Lots of people coming along tonight. We're enjoying the farm sim content, I think. Thank you very much. I've also been having a lot of fun playing the game we were playing on the weekend, which was Surrounded. I've been playing that on my own off stream, and there's a new version coming out, which I'm super excited about. and we will do a vote or something on the I'm gonna start unfolding this thing now. We will do a vote on the channel whether or not we start a new save with the new patch, and we might do like a nightmare save. And I don't know if you guys have heard about nightmare mode, but nightmare mode is basically where all the zombies are way faster. They're way faster, they're way stronger, and it's just way harder. And so it's not as super easy as it is. I mean, once you get the hang of the game, it's pretty easy. But I might try a nightmare mode, and so you guys can watch me die repeatedly. So I'm sure everyone here would love that. Okay. Did I hire you? Am I still myself? Okay, you're hired. Sweet, I hired somebody. Hired somebody for that one. By the way, you guys haven't asked about it, but I'll show you because we're here. Enter vehicle. Here's my temporary prairie grass. And I actually made the prairie grass have 4 growth stages. I'm sorry, 5 growth stages. So it's ready to harvest at stage 3, ready to harvest at stage 4, and at stage 4 you get the normal amount you would normally get, just like every other grass crop. But there's also a 5th growth stage, and it goes a little bit taller for the 5th growth stage. So if you wait just that extra amount of time, you get like 1.4, I think, times as much crop. So you get bigger windrows, more output if you wait 1 more month, which I think is pretty accurate and pretty fair to like how grass grows or something. Lower down, go. And then of course, after I mow all of this, I'm gonna have to pick it all up. Oh wait, I'm not on the line. Oops. So luckily I have some VPW to help me out with picking it up. And this thing is actually almost as wide as the VPW, which is actually going to make the VPW really work well for picking the grass up for this field from this mower, because the VPW is actually this wide. So that works. And yes, I'm working really hard. I will get the VPW out to you guys. I'm just trying to get some free time to do it. I have 2 more vehicles or 2 more implements or tools or whatever to convert. And then I'm going to push it out for testing and release. I've been testing it nonstop since I created the game. I do need to work with somebody who knows Blender better than I do. I'm missing a piece of... I'm missing a really small part of the VPW mod that Giants is going to request that I create. And I need someone who knows Blender to do that for me. I don't know it well enough to do it myself. But other than that, VPW is almost ready for release, as is like 3 updates to other mods, including the Batwing. There's an update to the Batwing coming out, which I'm excited about. Hold on. No. So yeah, update to the Batwing coming out. I'm excited about that. Update to the farm fill stations with our market price version of the farm fill stations. For those of you who don't like all the discounts that I give you, that's cool. I'll let you play however you want to play. And then an update to the sawmill, the industrial sawmill, to add in a couple new features, as well as 2 more mods that you guys haven't heard about. So I'm excited to get all of that stuff ready to go and released and passed over to Giants so that they can sit on it for 2 months and not test it, because that's kind of how things appear to be happening. See, I'm like, this thing's struggling hard. over like a little hip in the road, like a little hill. I mean, it's good because it's mowing really wide amount of grass all at once, but you really need high horsepower for this mower. Let's look at see how the this thing's going. Oh, look, it's doing good. It's doing good. Planting our flax. That'll be great. And then we'll do probably flax. And I'm not sure whether I'll do this field in flax also. And then I'll do these ones in barley. And then we'll do a massive cornfield down on this side. And y'all are going to be able to see that next time. This time we're going to finish this mowing and we're going to call it. We're going to get most of this mowing done, I guess. We'll be almost able to finish cutting this area. And then I'll go around with the Batwing and clean up all the places I couldn't get to with this massive behemoth mower. Which will be fun. I'll have fun doing that off stream. And then we'll have to wait till spring, I believe. If I look at, let's look at the calendar real quick. I don't remember what this map has set up for planting season, but it is already planting season for barley. But since we're going to be harvesting corn next month, we're going to have to plant barley in right after we harvest, because a lot of the fields we currently have corn in, I'm going to plant barley in. So I'm rotating those crops. So we're going to have to wait until next month to plant those things. So even more, we might actually have to do 2 episodes for next month for October, just because we're going to have to do a ton of harvesting and then a ton of planting and seeding and rolling and all that kind of stuff. Cause, and you know, fertilizing and liming and yada, yada, yada. Cause I like to do all the things correctly. But it all takes a lot of time. So we'll have to deal with that next month. So next week's stream, we might split it up into 2 streams for the month of October, just to give ourselves enough time to get everything done. And yeah, let's see. We don't have enough headland space over here, so I'm gonna have to do sort of a headland thing. Sort of. Like this, like I'm slowing down to almost nothing and I'm barely going up a little teeny hill. So you really need like 600-700 horsepower for this mower. But apparently this thing also is a plow and a cultivator and some other stuff. So I haven't even seen all of the functionality that this super tool has, but we may check it out next time. 28 meters for anything is pretty crazy. And I don't mind paying, you know, whatever we paid for this, $180,000 or whatever. If it's like a do everything, you know what I mean? Like, I don't mind paying good money for equipment that you can do everything with, but if I'm just paying a ridiculous sum of money for a single use piece of equipment, that always bothers me, especially in this game when I know that you could have equipment that does multiple things. Like the planter. Like, I don't want to have to own a planter and a seeder that both cost me 300K just because they're not willing to do the same thing. I know from realism standpoint, yada, 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 whatever. I don't care. On a 4X map, I don't have time to care about realism. Or I do, but I don't. I like to play pseudo realistic. Like, you know, there's certain stuff I like to do the whole process and I like to play the game the way I want to play it. but I don't necessarily want to adhere to all the rules, if that makes any sense. But this is it. One more pass and we're pretty much done with this field. And then I have to pick up all this grass. And I'll try to keep track of how much grass we have. How much grass we pick up. Maybe I'll put down a silo somewhere over here on land that we own. And to process it all or something. But this mower made short work of this land. It really did. I'm impressed. So I guess shout out to Max Trucker. This thing's awesome. And it does everything that I would want it to do. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't even experienced yet because I haven't been able to try everything. But it looks like it's going to be able to do all the things. So, dang. 28-meter mowing is awesome. Thank you very much. Very cool. So next time, corn and prairie grass. And if you guys haven't seen the prairie grass before, I definitely recommend being there for that. Prairie grass is my own custom crop that when you mow it, it looks like grass, but when you mow it, it turns into hay, which is my own special feature that I'm still working on doing an official prefab so that other people can add that to their maps. I haven't, again, it's on the list of things to do, but my list is very, very long and I don't have time for everything. But either way, that's going to be it for me tonight. Special thank you to everyone who came by. Special thank you to all of the members and everyone who's been chatting so consistently. It's great to see people I haven't seen in a while, like Ray. Welcome back, and Artemis. I haven't seen Artemis in a while. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for joining. But that's gonna be it for me tonight. A special thank you to all of our AI members. You guys keep this channel alive, and your support means the world to me. So thank you so much for everyone who gives some amazing impact. You guys are all awesome individuals, and I love the fact that you're always involved because it makes me feel special. So thank you very much. Thank you everyone for being here. And until next time, thanks for watching. We'll be back this weekend with some more Surround Dead and potentially a new game because I don't have anything to replace Surround Dead yet. So, or we have to replace Arctic Awakening, which we finished. So new game this weekend if you're around. Well, until then, bye bye.